Hi, my name is Bill Johnson, and I am going to be talking about my introductory video for EDL 853, Special Education for Building Administrators. First of all, who am I? Well, I am obviously a teacher and coach by some of the pictures you see there, and I am a non-traditional student in my EDL classes because I have been teaching for 30. I'm going to be starting my 32nd year. Currently, I'm teaching at Norton Community High School, where I've spent the last 30 years, and I teach American government as well as physical education and strength and conditioning classes. I am a father of 4 children, a grandfather of 3 children, and I have spent a lot of time as a coach, as I mentioned before. And I'm currently the head wrestling coach and head tennis coach at Norton Community High School. More personal information about myself is that I grew up in the Flint Hills of Kansas around El Dorado in a little town called Rosalia, graduated from Flint Hills High School. And then I went to Fort Hays State University after a stint at another college and laying out for a little while. I graduated in 1989 with a degree in physical education and social studies. I was a non-traditional student even back then. I was married in 1984, and I had 2 children most of my college life, at Fort Hays anyway. I taught a couple years at Kingman, and as I said, most of the time at Norton. This is the final class in my EDL master's degree, with my goal as to serve as a principal to finish out my career. So this class is starting out by Module 1, talking about the inclusive culture. Inclusive culture is defined when all students are encouraged, cherished, and included in all aspects of the school life. That would be really nice if that happened. An inclusive school, we should see creativity and diversity in our students. And obviously, federal law has mandated a lot of this through the IDEA Act, as well as other special education laws that have been implemented. What is the school leader's role in maintaining this culture? If you have a culture of inclusion, that's great. As a building leader, you must set the tone for all students, regardless of their gender, their race, their religion, or sexual orientation, that they are welcomed and respected in your school building. And that's very, very important to the learning of all students. Another thing, what happens if it doesn't exist? And in many places, it may not exist. There are ways to build an inclusive school. And the readings talked about using inclusive languages, to adopt character education, and they were going to talk about respect and acceptance and honesty of all students, whether they be white or black or Jew or Gentile or Protestant or Catholic or gay or straight. It doesn't matter. We want to do more than just tolerate that. We want to include and accept all human beings for what they really are. I would like to train staff on the importance and share updated literature throughout the time. I would demand that that teachers are in the hallways to supervise students, because that's where problems may occur, and they can also reward good behaviors of positive interactions. I would like to create a principals advisory council. This refers to a PAC, and to encourage the teacher and student advocates. So this is where I would advocate and encourage the advocates to listen and support students all the time, whether they be a student that is having difficulty or they just be a group that meets from time to time to work together. Also, as a principal in this advisory council, we would we'd encourage the advocates to report bullying, and we would deal with it as quickly as possible. And also in this inclusion, there's so many different national programs that are out there to bring awareness to groups that have been discriminated in the past. And they're far too numerous to mention in this short article or this short assignment, but there are many good ones out there that I would look to include in my school to develop a culture of inclusion. Plans and strategies for equitable treatment. The principal must create a school vision. A school vision, the principal is the leader and has to create that vision where each student can and will succeed and learn. And I'm not going to read all of these word for word for you, but I will also say that the teacher and the principal must have diversity and understand that diversity enriches all of us, that every student is unique, that God made us in many different ways, and that each student can contribute to the learning of everyone. I love it as a government teacher when I've had foreign exchange students in my government class, because they can share with our classes that not everyone does all of the government exactly like the United States. And they have a lot of things to share, and we can learn from them. Every student has strengths and needs, and that students should not be, special ed students especially, should not be relegated to just the special ed room. In my 32-year career in teaching, I've seen that change drastically from where special ed students never got out of the room to now they're being included in the normal mainstream learning, which is great. And because this comes from collaboration, that effective learning works with collaboration, they go hand in hand. How would we change the negative assumptions? There are 4 main ways that I have found that you're going to value what each student brings. And some of this builds off of what I mentioned earlier. You're going to value what the student brings into the classroom, whether they're reading on level, grade level, or reading below grade level. Everyone can learn from them. We're going to establish a respectful class climate to get away from those negative assumptions. The teacher is the leader in the individual classroom, and they must make sure that everyone treats everyone with respect. Excuse me. Plan for everyone to participate and to achieve. Not everyone loves to get up and speak in front of people. So there's a lot of different ways that you can have assignments so the kids don't always have to do the exact same learning. You can diversity of the teaching or differentiated instruction is very popular and is taking hold at many different places. Take a community approach. Get the kids out into the community and bring the community into your classroom to help each other out. Another way you can change negative assumptions is there's 7 ways that the reading said to create an inclusive classroom. Academic support, very important. Preparing the teachers. Hire teachers that are going to support this inclusion and get rid of those that won't support inclusion. Curriculum, as I mentioned, get them out into the community. Teach real-world lessons. If they're going to want to be being a cashier somewhere, they need to learn how to count back change. Even though the machine does it for you, it's very good when you're able to do that on your own. Integrate student bodies. In larger communities, there is boundaries of school districts in each city. Those cities oftentimes housing patterns are controlled by socio and economic status, which means that the neighborhood schools also are based on socioeconomic status. They have some reading to say eliminate all of those boundaries. We also should probably adjust some of the calculations of our national standardized tests to help those that are for their culture deficiencies. Create for respectful school communities. The diversity should also be seen in the staff as well as in the student body, and allow students to express their concerns through spaces where they can discuss things. This is very, very important to create. If we can sit down and talk amongst people, I think we can work out 95% of our problems right there. In conclusion, I look forward to EDL 853, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's videos. Thank you very much for watching mine.